Hey Megan, I'm going to take you to Elveston Castle today. Does that sound good?
Castle? Finally. Eloise, you know what to do. I'm so excited.
Hey Megan, did you not hear me?
What? You said we're going to a castle? Gotta wear my tiara.
You do know it's not a real castle, right? And it's haunted.
I'm Megs from James and Megs, and welcome to this week's vlog. Okay, so we're just about to drive to Elveston Castle. Bit different because James usually does the driving because I'm a very anxious driver myself, but I've been practicing the past couple of weeks, getting Eloise to nursery and back, and that's gone pretty well, so I thought try something a little bit more tricky today and just challenge myself a little bit. Feeling a little bit nervous about it, but I think that's natural, so let's just see how it goes. So we're here, we're still alive, you know. I didn't have any car accidents, that was pretty good. Yeah, I'm pleased I did that. Don't love the parking situation around here though. It's a bit busy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did it. That's what matters really.
We're here. Not interested. Gonna go have an adventure.
Ghosts, come catch me, Yvette Fielding. Baby.
So before we do any exploring, we've got to get coffee, right? So we're just going to have a bit of lunch, have a little bit of a picnic and fill our caffeine requirements. So as you may or may not be able to tell, I've lost my voice. This cold has really been difficult this week. So I'm going to try keep speaking to a minimum, which means that you get to hear a lot more from Megan than me, which always makes the vlog a lot better.
And a lot stranger. I'm a bit annoyed that I haven't seen any ghosts yet.
Ooh.
How did you feel about me driving today?
I thought you did a really good job.
Yeah.
And I know you suggested doing it yesterday. And one thing that I'm really proud of you for doing is facing a bit of a discomfort. This was obviously something you were quite apprehensive about, quite fearful of. And rather than shying away from that, you kind of leaned into it and decided to do the drive.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pleased with myself for doing that. I am quite good at like pushing myself into uncomfortable situations sometimes, which sometimes is good, sometimes is not. But I kind of feel like with driving, I don't, you know, it does make me very anxious to the point where I can feel myself shaking when I'm driving sometimes. But I feel like now we have Eloise, I feel like I need to do it for her. You know, what if you're unavailable when I've got to pick her up or something? Or what if we have an emergency? There's something I need to face, and if I don't face it now, I don't know if I ever would.
This is giving you the motivation to do so, really.
Yeah, she's my little muse on this one.
I mean, before we even got Eloise, and before you were pregnant, we didn't have a car. We'd been without car for 2 years, was it?
It might have been about a year actually, but we hadn't been driving really for about a couple of years. And then when we found out we were pregnant, it was like, probably need a car to go back and forth with.
Yeah, and for me, I've never been a confident driver either, so the motivation of needing to step up to the plate really and being able to support Megan, drive her to appointments when she was pregnant was a big motivator for me getting back into the saddle, so to speak. And I didn't find it very comfortable. It was certainly nerve-wracking driving you to the hospital the first when your waters broke, which I'm sure is a bit nerve-wracking for anybody.
He drove over those little in the middle of the road speed bumps in one of those ways that rocks the car a little bit whilst I was having contractions.
It was accidental, all right?
It wasn't comfortable.
It's not like I thought, oh, great, this is my chance to get a bit of revenge and to punish you.
I think Eloise wants her sandwich. There you go. Do you want a cheese and avocado sandwich? There you go.
travels, we seem to have veered off into a graveyard. Not the most welcoming place, but hopefully we don't get eaten by zombies.
I think we've entered a very grave situation.
Absolutely amazing building.
So I didn't have the best start to driving. I started when I was 17, like most kids do. Pretty soon after I turned 17, actually. And I ended up being taught by the same instructor that taught my brother. My brother had a couple of driving tests before he passed, and I thought he'd done so well, so surely I should be the same. So as well as some potentially inappropriate comments, whenever I made a mistake, he would talk to me in a pretty, condescending way, or he'd ask something in a rhetorical question. In a way that would really put me down rather than just constructively tell me what was wrong. Or, he'd mutter under his breath, "Oh, for God's sake," if I got something wrong. And for me, I had no other experience with driving, so I just assumed that was normal, or it was kind of, I deserved the way I was being spoken to. And it all really came to a head when I had my last lesson with him just before going to university. And I was trying to do some bay parking in a car park that was near us. And I was struggling with it because I do struggle with bay parking generally. And all of a sudden he just said to me, when the car was stationary, he just turned to me and said, "You know what, you're never going to have enough of a positive mental attitude, or you're never going to have enough confidence to pass a driving test." And I was a little bit taken aback with it, but I thought, I'll probably carry on with lessons anyway. But when I went to university, the more I didn't drive, the more I believed what he'd said to me at that last lesson. And as a result of that, I didn't really drive again for another 3 or 4 years. So when I was doing my master's degree, there was just one time when James's parents were picking us up to take us to their house. And I thought to myself, I'm in my 20s, I should be surely able to do this by now, got to show a bit of independence and some self-sufficiency rather than having to rely on parents all the time. So I just decided, I'm going to try this again and, just see how it goes. So I went online, chose a driving instructor, and I remember doing that first lesson, and he kind of knew my backstory a little bit, and he just said to me, "Okay, just show me what you can do." And I spent that first hour, driving around Nottingham, just apologising every 2 minutes, because I felt like I was doing everything wrong. And then I pulled up back outside our flat at the end of the lesson, and he said to me, "Actually, I think you're a really good driver." And I was really taken aback by that because I hadn't really been told anything like that before. So I kind of used that mentality that actually I might be a good driver to just keep trying, keep practicing. And then I eventually booked a test. Here's a lesson for you kids. If you're going to book a driving test and you're near a school, or the driving test centre is near a school, don't book a test during the school run. You're just setting yourself up for a fail, as I basically did. That test that I first failed did knock me back a little bit, but I just still kept trying. Then I eventually did a second test, and I was actually being tested by the head of the driving test centre, which was a bit nerve-wracking. But I got back to the centre after the test, and he said, "I'm really pleased to say that you've passed." And I was really shocked because I immediately assumed for no reason that I'd failed. He said, "You got one minor," but he just dismissed it like it was a really trivial one. And then he actually shook my hand as well, which was very surreal. But I was just really surprised, and that had given me a massive boost in my confidence because I'd been told I could never do that. Then we bought our own car. I had just some issues about driving independently, and then eventually over time, it got to a point where there was no need to really drive at that time, and I just thought to myself, it's going to be much easier just to avoid driving than it would be to just force myself into situations where it's going to get uneasy for me. And as a result of that, I then didn't drive for over 3 years, and that ended a couple of weeks ago when I had the same sort of feelings as I did before, and I just kind of thought to myself, surely I should be doing this, it's something that Eloise needs me for. I'm her mum. What if something happens to James, or what if things are a bit tricky? They need me to help with driving, so let's try getting back into it. And I feel like James gives me a lot of the love and support with driving that I should have got 12 years ago.
So Megan, what did you think to the trip?
Yeah, I really liked it. It's a very pretty place, Elphinstone Castle. Would like to have seen more guardsman for my castle, but hey. Yeah, it was very pretty, very nice to walk around. I can certainly see it as a good place for exercise and family trips out. Just amazed we haven't done it sooner.
Definitely agree that we should have done this sooner. It's a really, really nice place. Really good place to go out for a visit and explore somewhere new. It's good for us to get out though. As we said, we're very introverted, so this is a great way for us to put our tentative feet out into the world and to try go against our better nature. Now we're going to head back. Hopefully the drive will be fine without any drama, and then we'll talk to you back in the studio. Now you might have noticed we are wearing different clothes. A little bit of time might have passed since we last filmed, and I think this is just a reflection that having a baby and trying to run a YouTube channel is a bit much sometimes. As you might imagine, filming with a baby is also really challenging. Elvaston Castle was really great. The house is really impressive, the grounds are amazing, and it was just a great day out for us. There's plenty to see, plenty to do, and there's some really nice gardens that you can explore as well. Now, as we have said, some time has passed. Megan, you've had a bit of success getting over some of your driving anxiety. Perhaps you can share how you've managed to achieve that?
So for me personally, the one thing that has really helped me with my driving anxiety the past few weeks is just getting out there on the road, doing a little bit of driving each time. It's quite ironic actually, because I do have a PhD in driving anxiety and yet I still don't know the answers to all these questions. I think really for me, the main issues are the insecurities that I have in my head whilst I'm driving, as well as the lack of driving experience I had as a result of avoiding it for so long. So I think then the two key things for me are firstly getting yourself out there as much as you can to get that experience, and secondly then just challenging the thoughts that you might have about yourself in your head. So if you're sitting there thinking that you're not a good enough driver, try and challenge that. If you actually think other people are going to be mad at you, honk your horn, etc., again, try and think about why you have those thoughts and use the experience that you've got on the road to just really challenge that idea.
I have to say, Megan, that I've been really impressed with the progress you've made. You seem to have taken everything in your stride. You seem a lot more confident in your driving, and it's been very, very useful for us to have you be able to drive Eloise to nursery, and also on the trips that we're going to.
Thanks. It's not easy for me to actually do this, so I do really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. I want to fall asleep in the car. So I've been James.
And I've been Megs.
And we're James and Megs with Eloise. Please do like and subscribe to the video, and please do leave a comment below. We're really trying to get a conversation around some of the topics that we're covering on the channel. So thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.